Okay, Assalamualaikum and good day to all of you. So I will explain a bit about the executive summary. So for your information, in this PID project, we take a company which name Dutch Stem Height or also known as DUTCH. So this company is actually a well-known company in Malaysia and around the world for providing and selling a wide variety of affordable home goods. And our team has decided to organize an international cooking competition known as Kitchen Warriors. So we make this competition to make our company more shining and more famous lah. So what is actually the competition about and what is the competition is looks like? So everything will be explained later by my group members based on the detail of the idea here uh, in this video presentation.
For the background of our company was named Dutch and our logo resembles a chef hat, which means our company main focus is to produce a high quality kitchenware. Our company was located at Petaling Jaya, Selangor and had been established since 1981. And as of 2022, we have sold over 500 million of our product through 821 stores in and outside of Malaysia and have been awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award for Best Brand in 2020. Our company have a strong vision, which is to be a leading kitchenware company in Asia, which can be accomplished through our mission, which is to provide a range of innovative and efficient world-class quality kitchenwares, whose purpose is to simplify our customers' lifestyle. Pioneer to a simpler lifestyle has been our motto, which is based on innovative, efficient, and integrity as our core values. We will keep in touch with our clients, suppliers, or customers through our company's official phone number, email, website, and also our official social media accounts. Our company organized Kitchen Warriors, which is a cooking competition event which will be held on 30th April until 2nd May 2023 at the World Trade Center Kuala Lumpur PWTC. This event will involve 20 participants from all around the world with 3 well-known juries who are Chef Wan, Chef Juna, and Gordon Ramsay. This is our company's organizational chart, which will lead by Dutch Chief Executive Officer Najib Anas. This is our letterhead, which will be used in the company's official letter. For our business card, it will be used to further connect with our clients or suppliers or even our customers regarding our products or events.
Hi, my name is Nuri Alvina. Now I will talk about project background. For project event, Kitchen Warrior is the first cooking competition organized by Dutch Height, and we accept participants are whether citizen or not by action only because the theme is Malaysian dishes. The biggest sponsor for this competition is Maidin, Adabi and Maggie. The competition is broadcast live in television as the sponsor is Astro and TV3. Next is project logo. So the word warrior in this logo show the spirit of participant to win the competition. And the combination of word kitchen will bring a participant who strive in serving food during the competition. Furthermore, fiery pen emblem show our company as an organizer which supplier of kitchenware for this event. And lastly is Sapphire. Symbols show this competition are international and welcome all the audience from any country.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nufaika Fitri binti Zahidi with matric number 273911. I will explain on our objective and desired outcome of our program, which is cooking competition. Firstly is to expose the concept of quality and standard in the Malaysian food industry. By participating in this competition, communities learn food safety system that prevent illnesses by focusing attention and operations in the food processing on preventing or minimizing consumer exposure to pathogens. Next is to find fresh culinary talents among the candidates that are participating. Throughout this competition, people get new knowledge, techniques and cooking abilities which they can apply later in their life. Besides that is to establish an integrated multi-ethnic citizen. It can strengthen the multi-ethnic people of this country's relationship and cooperation as the major tool for thwarting any misunderstanding or confusion. On top of that is to improve decision-making skills. People can improve healthy food choices and decision-making while also developing leadership skills and self-confidence. Lastly is to increase brand recognition and brand awareness. Community involvement makes good business sense. When companies start to contributing to their communities, it will reap the rewards in many ways, such as it will increase the value of the company sales, since it will influence customers' purchasing decisions.
Now we go to 5.0 project details. Dash December Hut will be organizing a Kitchen Warriors competition from 30 April 2023 until 2nd of May 2023. The event will take place at the World Trade Center, PWTC, Kuala Lumpur. There will be over 20 participants that will be attending the cooking competition, excluding 3 permanent judges, 1 guest judges, and 2 TV hosts. Now, 5.1, we're going to go through venue. The cooking competition Kitchen Warrior, as mentioned, will be held at the World Trade Center, PWTC, Kuala Lumpur. It is a historical convention center in the most prestigious address in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as it located in the city of Malaysia. As Kitchen Warrior will be held in 3 days in PWTC, we decided to arrange the menu based on the date. First day of the competition, we decided to go with the traditional food from each of the participants' origin. This is because the traditional food industry can recall the folks with the national and patriotic identity. Next, on the second day, the participant will compete to cook Western and fusion cuisine, because if compared to the traditional cuisines from Asian countries, for example, the meat is more pronounced and the size of the dish is also important. Last but not least, for the last day, how could we forget the important dish that needs to be included in the competition is Malaysian full course dishes, because Kitchen Warriors will be held in Malaysia. So we have decided to end the competition with the Malaysian dishes. Participants can think of any dishes from Malaysia that they think suitable for this competition and for the prizes that will be given to the winners. Kitchen Warrior is expecting over 20 participants and adding 3 to 4 judges and 2 TV hosts. On top of that, the media crew as well. So these are the details of people involved, and this is the details of participants in each country. So we have from China, Brunei, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Korea, and Singapore. On the table that I have shown, we will expecting 20 participants across the world. It is advisable for the participants to comply with the criteria and standard operating procedures (SOP) by the Malaysian government. So these are the SOP that has been implied for the Malaysian government. Now, for the 5.3, we have arrivals, accommodations, and transportations. So for arrival, all event attendees need to adhere to regulations and travel procedures that have been outlined by the Ministry of Health Malaysia. These are some important notes that the participants and event attendees that need to know before plan their travel. Next, accommodations. After the event attendees arrive at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, they need to undergo the self-test COVID-19 before they will escorted to the hotel sponsor. They will be staying at the Sunway Putra Hotel besides the PWTC. It is a 5-star hotel that provides contemporary rooms. Last but not least, transportation. So there are a couple of transportation that we can provide. First is taxi. Dutch Cinema Hut committee member will provide transportation for free from KLIA to pick up the participant and accompaniment via taxi that has been rented for the event. So we have rented 3 taxis at the same time and will be returning to the arrival hall for another pickup. The pickup point for them will be at the arrival hall, gate 4. The participants need to confirm with the event committee in charge 1 week prior to the arrival date to schedule for a pickup. So this schedule for pickup as follows. However, for Malaysian participant, one of them is from Terengganu, so he needs to travel. So he will also be given flight tickets at Kuala Lumpur International Airport too, and free pickup by taxi as well. Another 3 of them that live in Kuala Lumpur, they have to arrange their own transportation to Sunway Putra Hotel. All of them also need to undergo a COVID-19 self-test kit. Okay, next we have private vehicle. Private cars will be provided to the judges when they arrive at the KLIA. They will also need to undergo the COVID-19 self-test kit once they arrive in KLIA. So we have reserved 4 private cars for the judges once they arrive in Malaysia and have to pick up the judges as well. Private cars included limousines if available by the taxi concessionaire, airport limo, and city cabs to pick up the judges. So the private cars will be standby upon the arrival of the judges at the KLIA.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Noris Minhan and Dimiti Ramli. My matric number 273292 and I'm going to continue on food and beverages. One of the most important aspects of this competition is that we provide the best ingredients for the participants to use. A few well-known brands have collaborated and sponsored us, including Maidin, Maggi, Adabi, Dash Lady and CSR. These brands will assist our competitors in preparing their dishes during the competition, where they will be able to choose what type of ingredients they require. Dry ingredients such as flour, fresh vegetables, fruits, seafood and meats are provided. However, pork and bacon were not included on the list because the competition will be held in Malaysia, where the majority of the people are Muslims and we will have a Muslim-friendly theme. This is also applicable to beverages and liquid ingredients, where all types of beverages and liquid ingredients are provided, except for alcohol such as wine and other alcoholic drinks and liquid ingredients.
After the competition has ended, the company will organize a farewell dinner that will be held on Tuesday, 2nd of May. All competitors are invited to attend this event. All entrants will receive a certificate of excellence, a product of Dutch, and be featured on Facebook competition page, website, and our monthly newsletter. The fees for this program is 250. Registration deadline is on 1st of January 2020. The safety checklist that we have is event access and ingress, amenities, event signage, event emergency procedures, and fire presentation, first aid.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Hanin Lashmi bin Muhammad Uchan, matric number 273251, and I'll be presenting about the details of the competition. So starting off with the competition procedure, there are a total of 4 phases. So the first one is the submission of registration form, which will be open from 1st December 2022 until the 31st January 2023. So during this phase, the interested participant can submit their form. And moving on to the next phase is the selection phase, which is from 1st February 2023 until 1st March 2023. So under this phase, the participant that have submitted their form will be put through the selection process, which is from or through a interview process to ensure that only the ones that are qualified to be able to participate in our competition. So the next one is preparation phase, which is from 2nd March 2023 until 23rd March 2023 for the selected participant to prepare for their traveling document or anything. And the last one is arrival and registration phase, the 1st April 2023 and 23rd April 2023, where the participant will arrive in Malaysia and register for their accommodation. Okay, so moving on to the next one is the competition problem statement, which is how can we promote and improve our product quality to all and new customer both at the same time. So by holding out this competition, we can achieve both of the aim of this competition problem statement, which is to promote and to prove our product quality. Okay, as for the competition rule and regulation, so it is set to ensure that we are able to promote healthy and friendly competitive environment for the participant. And this rule of regulation will include rules for handling of equipment and workstation, dress code and cleanliness, and also ethical and behavioral rules. Okay, lastly is the competition format. So this competition will be joined by 20 participants in total, and they will be competing as individual. There will be a total of 5 elimination per day. Since this competition will be held for 3 days, so there will be a total of 10 elimination, and there will be 10 finalists. So as for the competition, each participant will be given 30 minutes to think of and to choose the ingredient that are needed for their dish, and then they will be given another hour to prepare their dish. And as soon as the 1 hour is up, the judges will score their dish based on the rubric that have been given to the judges. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, for the floor plan, and we will use the fourth floor of the PWTC building as the venue for the event. And as what you can see at the floor plan, at the figure, we managed to get a press conference room, waiting room, and two hall which are used for cooking competition, and the another hall are used for training and preparation for competitors before the competition. And here we also have the floor plan for the cooking competition hall.
For our promotional tools, we use several methods of tools to further promote our event in order to raise the public's awareness. The promotional tools that we use are streamer, banner, backdrop designer, poster, official social media accounts such as Facebook, Instagram and our company's official website, and lastly through supply uniform for our participants who join our cooking competition.
In this section, we hire a few facilitators to help and give guidance to all the volunteers for the event. We will be sending out flyers, posters and also promoting it on our website, Instagram and Facebook page regarding the recruitment of volunteers for backstage crew and event management crew. All the volunteers need to fill their details based on the requirement needed, such as need to be 18 years old and above on the provided Google form.
Meet the judges. So first we have Gordon James Ramsay. He's a British chef, restaurateur, television personality, food critics and a writer. Next we have Rizwan bin Ismail, better known by his stage name is Cik Wan. He's a Malaysian celebrity chef, television host, actor, restaurateur and entrepreneur. Lastly, we have Juna Rorin Pandey, better known as Chef Juna in MasterChef. He was an executive chef at the Jack Rabbit restaurant Jakarta at the end of July 2011. So for the guest judges, so every day the guest judges will evaluate the dishes made by the participants. So the guest judges consist of Malaysian entrepreneurs, food ambassadors and celebrity. So on the first day of the competition, we have decided to invite Khairul Morozaman, better known as Khairul Amin, as he is a social media culinary celebrity in Malaysia. Next, on the second day, we invite Nabilah Nazib, or as known as Kak Bella, a founder of Sugador by NN. On the last day, we invite Nur Shahila binti Amir Amza, better known as Sheila Amza, who's a Malaysian singer-songwriter.
The directive is as below. On 28th April is the arrival of judges, which are Gordon James Ramsay from London, Juna Rory Pandey from Indonesia, and our staff will pick up Rizwan bin Ismail, or known as Chef Wan, at his home. Next day is the arrival of competitors from Thailand, Japan, China, Korea, Indonesia, Brunei and Singapore. On 30th and 22nd May is the day of competition. On the first day of competition, the judge will give a short briefing on some rules and costing. They will also have an elimination of qualified and unqualified participants for the next episode. Same goes for 1st May of 2023. But on the last day, the finalists will be preparing and presenting 2 courses in 1 hour. Obviously, they will announce the winner of the cooking competition.
Okay, for project organization structure, and in organization structure we have project leader, which lead by Nun Elvina, and her vice project leader, which is by lead by Najib Anas. And we have seven types of committee to enable us to run this program. Okay, we also have work breakdown structure, or also known as the WBS. So by having work breakdown structure, we can take a step-by-step approach to complete this project by breaking down the project into smaller components. And as what you can see in the figure of WBS, as we provide, it start by providing a detail on preparing budgeting, and it continues with the other details and up until the day we run this program up until.
Next, stakeholders list comprises internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders include project leader of Kitchen Warrior Cooking Competition, vice project leader of Kitchen Warriors Cooking Competition, safety and logistic manager, sponsorship manager, financial and administration manager, protocol manager and others. On the other hand, external stakeholders comprises all the chefs, sponsors, sponsor companies, invited guests, hosts, media crew, event management crew, cooking participants, and also facilitators. Next, gaining the support of powerful stakeholders can help in winning more resources, increasing the likelihood that the projects will be successful. By communicating with stakeholders early and regularly, it can ensure stakeholders fully understand what the purpose of the project is and the benefits of the project, which enabling them to actively support when needed. There is a relationship between the stakeholders' power and interest. If the stakeholders have significant power and interest in the project, project managers must manage closely to their expectations because they are the ones who make the decision and have the most influence over it.
Risk mitigation is a strategy used by organizations to provide early exposure and preparation of upcoming threat to reduce the risk. The first is technical risk. As mentioned before, our competition is broadcast live and the important things need to be considered is the PA system. It will bring problem if PA system is not working during the competition. So the action that we provide to overcome this matter is we make preparation 2 or 3 days before the actual competition. Next, the operational risk. Basically, the uncertainty and threats may occur during the competition. For instance, if participants can sabotage or cheat and they not noticed by management. So the action taken by us is we will provide the written rule to every participant and run security check on them before and after competition. Okay, now we move to schedule risk. Typically, schedule risk is the most important things in any program, including our competition. For example, if judges stuck in traffic, the event need to be deferred to another time, and event timeline will be disrupted. So the action taken by us is we will provide alternate judges who will replace at that time. Lastly is cost risk. It means that the risk of more expenditure that will occur during the event. For example, COVID-19 infection during the event will cause the organizer to spend more money. So the action taken by us is we will provide guideline to all parties that get COVID-19 infection, and the stated amount agreed is 30,000 of risk cost in the budget.
Next, I'm going to continue on project constraint. Firstly, it's about budgeting. The cost of this event is high, therefore obtaining fund and sponsorship is quite tough and challenging as it's convincing companies to sponsor this event. However, sponsorship managers are able to approach companies and gain their trust in this event. Next, food and beverages. All sources should be available and prepared by the managers in charge of the food and beverage section. Recently, there has been some speculation that the global food crisis could last 4 years due to natural causes such as flood, drought, global warming, and also conflict between Russia and Ukraine that may cause to the crisis. However, our sponsorship companies and food and beverages managers have ensured that all the sources and ingredients for cooking are enough for this event. Other than that is cooking utensils. All of the cooking utensils will be prepared by Dutch. However, mistakes can happen and all of the cooking utensils may be damaged and unable to be used properly. Therefore, this issue can be resolved with the assistance of our managers who check and examine all utensils and tools to ensure that they are in good conditions and ready for use. Next, one of our top priorities is the safety of all event attendees. This is to ensure that none of them encounter any danger or problems during the event. For example, fire can still occur even if everyone takes precautions because we never know what the future holds, but we can reduce the likelihood of it occurring. This problem can be solved by ensuring that all safety equipment, fire extinguishers and paramedics are always on standby in the circumstances of a critical incident. Besides, to ensure that the event goes as planned, we decide to hire volunteers to work with us while gaining new experiences in handling such big events because we initially lack of crews. Therefore, we hired facilitators to assist all volunteers by guiding and teaching them on how to perform their roles in the event, which greatly benefits many people. After that, the event will be broadcast live on social media and televisions. There is no doubt that some haters may criticize and make hateful comments about the event. Therefore, in order to solve these issues is by responding to them and explaining the comments professionally. We also have talented people who can handle all of the keyboard warriors. Last but not least, international participants and judges from other countries travel to Malaysia for the event. It is critical that we provide them with the best possible accommodations and transportation because their comfort is one of our top priorities. We want them to feel appreciated for their willingness to participate in this event. Therefore, we really take this matter seriously so that we can give them great hospitality throughout the event.
The source of income that we get for this program is a fund from our company, which is around 200,000, sponsorship 300,000, and competition fees equals to 5,000. The program budgeting for this program is site or venue 47,500, programs 162,000, publicity and marketing 9,350, food and refreshment 15,740, prizes 34,700, logistic 90,000, contingency 30,000.
This is the network diagram for our program. It shows the progress for each of the activities taken from the beginning until the end. We will display the information here by transfer to the view of PERT chart and Gantt chart. For PERT chart, it shows the 4 different paths that were taken by Dutch, where the longest path and the critical path is path C, where it takes around 316 days to be completed. For our Gantt chart, it shows the flow of our program through the activities listed on network diagram.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Hani Najmi bin Muhammad Urchan, method number 273251. So I'll be starting off the presentation by briefly presenting on the abstract of our conceptual paper. The aim of our preparation of abstract is to summarize what is talked about in the paper and is also to give an overview of the content of the paper. We're moving on to the introduction of our conceptual paper. So under the introduction, we have highlighted the importance of supply network, or as it usually referred to as a supply chain. We have highlighted about how important it is in not only the management of a company or management of a business, but it's also extremely vital in the management of a country, which we have related with the current issue, which is about the Sri Lanka economic crisis, where Sri Lanka has recently been announced bankrupt, possibly due to their weak supply network. This because they have faced some food, fuel, and energy shortages around the country, which caused them to be announced as bankrupt. So the introduction have set the foundation for the paper, and for the next part, which will be presented by my group members, will be explaining on the 4 concepts of the supply network, and will be also study about the implementation of supply network by the Malaysian government when they are handling the COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nufaika Fitri binti Zahidi with matrix number 273911. I will be covered on single sourcing of supply network. So the part that I would like to highlight is the concept of single sourcing. The concept of single sourcing is to reduce the number of suppliers with whom a company does business. Historically, industries, particularly in Western countries, dealt with multiple suppliers for each item. However, the trend has begun to shift toward fewer suppliers. With the growing popularity of Japanese just-in-time, or known as JIT philosophy, this concept has evolved. One of the purchasing objectives is to ensure that orders are placed at the right amount, at the right time, and at the right place with the right quality, in order to support the central idea of GIT, which is to eliminate waste and emphasize value-added activities. On to next slide, I would like to explain on advantages of single sourcing or supply network. There are several advantages to using single sourcing, including improved negotiation and payment terms. When a company only has one supplier, it may have more negotiating flexibility. For example, may offer a company special deals and payment terms. Furthermore, the company will get higher quality goods and services. Besides that, single sourcing will reduce costs. Many businesses prefer single sourcing because it lowers the cost of materials and product. This strategy can also help them reduce operational costs, freeing up funds for other important business matters. Administrative costs and work is reduced as well. On top of that, product consistency is improved when a company uses single sourcing because the supplier learns about the company's preferences. This can improve product consistency by ensuring that each product appears and functions consistently and at the same level of quality. Next part that I would like to highlight is the disadvantages of single sourcing of supply network. By using a single sourcing for supply chain planning is that if there is a shortage of the inventory, company requires they will have to wait for a restock or find another supplier. This is especially difficult when there is a need to place an order quickly. Along with, the company may face risk if the sole supplier goes bankrupt or has financial difficulties or is bought out. This happens when a supplier goes offline abruptly for whatever reason. This may force a company to scramble to find a replacement provider, which can be difficult when supply networks are disrupted. By relying on a single supplier, the company may be relying too heavily on undocumented and informal business practices. If the supplier goes out of business, it may be difficult to untangle such system in order to establish a new source. If company artwork and specifications are not clearly recorded or openly available, it may take a lengthy time to set up the new provider. This hidden risk is harmful to a company because it might cause delay when needed to move quickly. Delays in establishing a new supplier can result in a disruption in company supply continuity. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Muhammad Najib Anas Muhammad with contact number 273294. So I'll be the next presenter and I'll present to all of you about the multiple sourcing. So multiple sourcing is a structure in which organization need to choose for multiple suppliers for a specific service or product. And the sourcing structure is not new structure and it can be said that it represent a traditional supply management method. So the purchasing firm will multiply source of supply for a specific service or product is categorized on this method. And the buying firm or the purchasing firm will typically have a list of pre-qualified suppliers from which to choose to ensuring that each supplier has the capacity and capability to deliver according to contract and specification that what the purchasing firm want. And the suppliers also might compete among each other on the price as well as other factors such as quality, delivery time, and so on. So as a result, the multiple sourcing method will frequently perceive an adversarial approach to dealing with suppliers. And this method implying that the purchasing firm is largely independent of a single supplier because it may easily move from one supplier to another supplier. So here we also provide the figure 1B0 to explain as a worldview of what is multiple sourcing is about. So as we can see in figure 1B0, it illustrates the multiple sourcing. So here from the figure shown that a purchasing firm, which is firm B, needs to choose from various source of supplier, which is supplier 1, S1, S2, S3, and S4. Okay, I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nuri Alvina and I will continue for delegated sourcing. Delegated sourcing is a responsibility borne by one supplier only and not an individual part for the delivery of the entire sub-assembly. In other words, the buying company assigns more responsibility to one supplier only and that supplier coordinates the component from the rest of the suppliers. Next, supplier under delegated sourcing are better known as first-tier supplier, and it is related to Japanese structuring, which is to manufacture hierarchical supply bases. For example, parent or adult giving the task or instruction to their children. So the buying company will hire only one supplier, which is considered as parent, and other supplier which is considered as children and will be hired by the parent. Then the company actually have more than one supplier, but other supplier is being taken care by one supplier only. Next, there are advantages for buying company to adopt this delegated sourcing. First is buying companies can reduce daily transaction costs if they work with the same supplier and becomes closer to each other. Next, detailed information can be exchanged for business purpose and these things are same as a single sourcing. Furthermore, capabilities tend to be transferred. Current technology to produce the required sub-assembly will facilitate the buying company to get information about the current technology that can be implemented to their company. In short, the supplier dependent on the buyer will increase if the buyer company becomes a major player or important person to the supplier. Meanwhile, it will give more powers to the supplier to manage or control the delivery and production of sub-assembly. So that's all from delegated sourcing. Now my friend will proceed to the next sourcing. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nuris Minhanali binti Ramli. My matric number 273292 and I'm going to continue on parallel sourcing. The term parallel sourcing refers to the practice of occasionally using one supplier at one manufacturing unit for a model's component while using a different supplier at another unit. Parallel sourcing also gives meaning to the practice of using numerous sole sources for each type of product. The distinguishing characteristic of parallel sourcing is the simultaneous sole sourcing of very similar components from two or more suppliers with comparable capabilities. This shows that even the same type of product has its own supplier, which can determine the performance of the suppliers. For example, based on the diagram below, we can see that supplier 1 and supplier 2 are assigned to component type A, meanwhile supplier 3 and supplier 4 are assigned to component type B. Other than that, parallel sourcing may create such competition between the suppliers, which they will provide high performance due to the trade of the buyer to switch suppliers. The existence of competition in parallel sourcing between the suppliers may increase the quality delivery, product innovation, and the buyer's negotiation power. Parallel sourcing might be beneficial to companies because it can be one of the initiatives to get materials from other suppliers if there is any shortage of sources from the main supplier. The method of parallel sourcing appears to offer coordination and quality controls benefits associated with sole sourcing.
Okay, so for the implementation of supply networks during COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia, so during the pandemic, Malaysia have implemented several supply networks in order to supply enough products or services such as face masks, sanitizers, personal protective equipment PPE for frontliners, vaccines, and assistance for the people in terms of financing. So the Malaysian government, especially the Ministry of Health (MOH), had linked with other organizations to supply all the service and necessities to the people. Some of the supply networks that MOH have taken into consideration are: firstly, MOH had worked together with airlines crew through the implementation of health screening, which is thermal scanner deployment at all points of entry in the airport in order to stop the spread of disease. Second, MOH worked together with Malaysian National Security Council (NSC) to provide a service by implementing the Movement Control Order (MCO) to avoid the disease spreading widely among Malaysians. Other than that, MOH with other public or private sectors had worked together to provide a service by raising the COVID-19 fund to support the affected people's financial situation. In addition, the Inland Revenue Board (IRB) also provided tax deductions to the impacted communities. Fourth, Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB) and MOH work together to seek funds from corporate firms, government-affiliated enterprises (GLCs), and other groups in Malaysia to replenish medical supplies and other essentials for treating COVID-19. Next, MOH had linked with the National Disaster Management Agency (NADMA) to provide a service by establishing a temporary hospital in Serdang to cope with the patients who are COVID-19 positive cases. Furthermore, MOH had received 600 million ringgit from the Economic Action Council meeting, where it will be used to purchase ventilators and personal PPEs and to hire 2,000 nurses on a contract basis. And lastly, MOH also linked with DBKL, local governments, and the Ministry of Housing and Local Government in Kuala Lumpur City Council to provide a service of disinfection operations in order to lower the risk of spreading infection. So, in conclusion, we can see how MOH had worked together with several other organizations or parties in order to manage the COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia.
In a conclusion, supply networks can be discussed in multiple sections. So first, we have single sourcing. It is as the idea behind single sourcing is to cut down on the number of suppliers a business that works with. Industry that have historically worked with several suppliers for each item, especially in the Western nations. Next, we have multiple sourcing is a framework that allows an organization to select from a variety of providers when looking for particular services or goods. This approach identifies a purchasing organization with several sources of supply for particular services or goods. Then, we have delegated sourcing, meaning that the complete sub-delivery assembly is the sole responsibility of one provider, not any particular part. Both phrases lead to the same meaning under the same framework, making it possible to organization the meaning of delegated sourcing. Furthermore, parallel sourcing is one of a form of source that implies the same quantity or same type of product is distributed between two distinct providers. Is referred to as parallel sourcing. The simultaneous sourcing of competent from two or more vendors with equal capabilities is what sets parallel sourcing apart. Last but not least, we also discussed the implementation of the supply network in Malaysia due to COVID-19. The COVID-19 and the epidemic has had a significant impact on how an organization sources its goods from its supplier through other organizations or other person. Due to this problem, numerous firms must have thought about how to strengthen their supply chains or network with their supplies in order to continue existing and carry on business as usual throughout the epidemic. So that is all for us. Thank you.